Yes, welcome back, everybody, to the Resistance broadcast. I'm John Hoey. Thanks so much for joining us today. Thanks for being a part of the Resistance. Thanks for listening. Thanks for loving Star Wars and being a part of our discussion here. We really appreciate it very much. That got a little NPR sounding. Sorry, guys.
For $2, you can.
Yeah, and then you can. But no, we're not going to do that. We are the Resistance broadcast. The base is open. We are excited. Great show. The Will of the Force is back. We have a Kessel run on deck, I believe at James's request to do a Kessel run this week. And we are doing the worst places to be in Star Wars. So get thinking about that, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But as always, let's say hi to the crew. James, Lacey, guys, welcome back. What is going on? How's your week? Are you ready for Christmas? You do your shopping? How's things going?
As of recording, I have bought 0 gifts for anybody. Like I'm not even joking. Got God. 0 gifts for no one.
That's funny. I got gifts for both of you.
What?
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
How does that happen?
I meant to bring it the other day, John, when I saw you, but I forgot.
I don't even have stocking stuffers. I've got a couple ideas, but I'm pretty shot. And I have like 3 families to buy for. So.
Amazon Prime, buddy.
I don't got that Prime.
Put those retailers out of business.
Nope.
James, I'll tell you what. I'll buy the stuff for you on Prime, but you have to give me 10%.
What?
This just got weird. Hey, guys. I'm Lacey. I'm here to talk Star Wars.
I'm like Han Solo. I'm trying to make deals here, James.
And yeah, I'm wearing my TIE Fighter tie-dye shirt.
Yep.
My tie-dye.
Right. And I'm wearing a t-shirt that's better than that, but that's
And what is it?
It is the Twin Suns with Luke looking out to the Twin Suns with the Star Wars logo.
You suck, John. James, what are you wearing?
Not
a sweatshirt.
One of our t-shirts.
Sweatshirt, blue and white shirt. Pretty proud of it.
James has not changed since Monday. So he probably stinks like a rotten nest of Gundarks.
It's been like 4 days, John. I washed all of this clothes and wore them again.
Oh,
you could say that he wears those clothes as he wills it.
Lacey trying to push us along here. She has things to do later today, I guess. All right, guys. So one of your favorite segments, one of ours, it is called The Will of the Force. James Baney, where's our old friend Chirrut? Let's get this thing going.
I fear nothing, for all this, as the Force wills it.
He's right there, John. Just showed up. It's so quick. It's so fast. Hey, thanks for doing that, Chirrut.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. You didn't know. You didn't hear him? Are you kidding me? I'm deaf. I'm just kidding. That's terrible. All right. So I'm getting some faces over here. We're going to do Will of the Force this week. We got some good ones. I'm just going to kick it right off with this one. Will of the Hutts. Will of the Hutts return in Star Wars Episode 9. So we got 0, which is probably the most likely to show up. Then we have Stinky, who is his nephew, who's the second most likely to show up. Jabba the Hutt is the third most likely. He's dead. John does a great impression if you're watching on YouTube. Here's the question, though. Is there any chance that we're going to see some memorabilia, if to the Jabba the Hutt that showed up in that last movie? We're gonna see Hutts in Episode 9. John, what do you say?
I will say we will. All
right, Lacey, what do you say?
I think because it's the last one, because it's been 35 years since we've seen a puppet Hutt in Star Wars. We're going to get back to the puppet business. We've heard a lot of rumors about puppets and turtle puppets, but I think we're going to get a Hutt puppet in Star Wars Episode 9. Maybe Gracchus, maybe someone else. I think we will, though. Bring back the Hutts. And
wow,
Bib
John,
Fortuna. Give me Fortuna, too. Bring that.
John, I did not expect you to say that. That was a Hutt take. Lacey.
Oh my goodness.
Boshuda.
No.
Lacey, what do you think?
No, we will not.
Well,
I don't want them
done.
back. They're gross.
They're gross. They're
And that's my hut take.
Yeah,
Lacey,
I think
I just
it's
don't know
very
how they're going
likely.
to fit into the story unless like they go to look for them to help them in the grand last battle.
Lacey,
But-
just take it hut easy, okay? Please.
Pizza Hut. Oh, it's not working anymore. All right, let's go. Yeah, I think that they could show up. I think that would be kind of cool, just to kind of remind us that Return of the Jedi was the last one. That's when the Hutts showed up. It's kind of that familiar thing. And the other thing is we've talked about how we know for a fact that the Hutts are helping the Resistance at this time. So it does kind of make sense that if they're going to show some of the allies to the Resistance, that it could potentially be like a Hutt, even if he's just right over there. Just that like he gets maybe a little bit more screen time than like Chopper, but he's just right over there. So let's move on to the next one. John, I just wanted a quick thank you for doing these show notes. It's you do a great job at coming up with these questions and organizing them and putting them all together.
Is that sarcastic?
Oh, I know why.
No,
he just
well,
said
no.
that.
I'm just saying he does a really good job at writing these questions. All right. So I'm going to read from the show notes here. Among the cast announced for The Mandalorian, one of the lesser known names is Omid Abtahi. I guess is that how you say it. So in writing up our report for Star Wars Newsnet, our own John Hoey discovered
That's not what I wrote.
he was actually the voice of Miss in the Clone Wars, and he was a Mandalorian cadet who tried to save Satine. This doesn't mean he's going to be playing him in live action, but here we go. We kind of talked about this on Monday. Will he be playing the same character, Miss, in The Mandalorian? John, humble John, let's hear from you first.
You added your own liberties to that.
All right.
I will say he will.
John,
You say
humbly.
he will.
And especially just the connection aside, it'd be first time ever for Star Wars. And James, you seem to think that it would make some sense if the ages lined up. So instead of rejecting one of my thoughts, you actually agreed, which makes me think it may even be more possible. So there you go.
Yeah, so I'm going to throw it in there too. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with he will, because it just seems too perfect. We figured out on Monday the age lines up. The character seems like a character that would have good tension in a drama, and then why not? This is stuff that fans like. So that makes sense as well. There's a lot going for it. So, Lacey, do you think that he will be playing the same character as he did in the animated series?
Yeah, I think he will, based on the things you guys said, and also the fact that Dave Filoni's all about that connection stuff between movies and books and TV shows. So I could totally see him playing part in this.
Mm-hmm. So Dave isn't writing it. But
he's directing
Dave
the first
might,
episode, though.
Yeah, but that's different than writing it. But do you think
But
there's
they
a
value
possibility
his
that he
input,
says
though.
like, hey, we have this character, and I think that I worked with a character in this other show. Can we name him this? Could we hire this person specifically to be this person?
Yeah,
so I
absolutely.
guess I could see that.
And part of the story group's job after, like, some of the people's job outside of coming up with the actual stories of Star Wars are the people that double check that the books line up with the movies and the TV shows and everything's interlacing. And they even make recommendations of what should be a good fit. So like they decided to call Black Spire the Park Village area. And then they worked that into other things so that they all connect to each other. Like there's someone doing that as their job. I can totally see Dave Filoni making that comment or someone making that comment along the way and then it making its way into the actual show. But I think that he's the one that kind of spearheads that. I've been around for a long time. Here's how everything can work together. This is around the same time with the same characters. It makes sense.
All right. Yep.
Okay.
We're going to move on to the next one. And again, this is another one that we kind of talked a little bit about on Monday, but we're going to try to define it here. We know Mark Hamill's been on the set. We know that he's been doing stuff as Luke Skywalker, but we gotta ask the question, how much is he really gonna be in this movie? So here's the will it or won't it question. Will Luke Skywalker have more than 5 minutes of screen time in episode 9? Now, this is tricky because 5 minutes doesn't seem like a lot.
It is a lot.
But recently on our Patreon, we have a group chat there. We've been talking a lot about this, and we've done a lot of discovery into what screen time really is. And you would be astonished at some of the characters that have such little screen time. John, I think you're going to probably bring up Billy D, right? Yeah.
And I feel bad because someone on Twitter had listened to Lacey and I talking about it on the podcast, and they're like, check this out. Boom. IMDb does this.
Right.
And
Remember we were like, wouldn't it be cool if someone did this?
I forget who tweeted it, and I apologize. I really do. But they had it all right there. So
It
credit
was so
to them.
cool.
Yeah. And it was amazing because I'm like, holy crap, man, this really does break it down. And we were looking at the characters who famously have great big pivotal roles in these movies, but like they're on screen for like 5 minutes, you know.
Can
or
I also
something
say
like
that our listeners are awesome? Like they genuinely care what we're talking about, which is it's such like a Star Wars community thing that we can mention something being like, wouldn't this be cool? And like 2 or 3 people or even one person will take the time to look it up for us. Like that's so awesome, and we really appreciate it. We don't take it as like you correcting us. We love it. So keep it coming if we say anything that makes no sense.
I do take it as corrections, and I love that I'm getting corrected because I don't want to base something on something that isn't true.
Right.
Especially, you know, like in Star Wars or whatever.
I meant it in like, I don't take offense if someone corrects me or sends me the proper information. And the fact that exists was so cool because John and I were saying how we wish it existed because we didn't want to do the work for it.
Yeah, we had no idea. Right. And now we know we can look that up for almost, I guess, maybe any movie. I don't know. That's interesting. And I guess it's not official, you know, per se. Like I'm sure it's not on StarWars.com, so it's not saying this is we agree.
Yeah.
But
right.
It's probably accurate.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to think that Rose Tico and Kylo Ren had practically the same amount of screen time in Last Jedi.
Like crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
But which, I mean, that Canto Bight thing really adds a chunk to her time.
That
so
is
I
hate that scene.
Yeah. All right. So let's get to it though. Lacey, I need an answer. 5 minutes. Mark Hamill, episode 9.
I think it's going to be like 6 minutes.
So
like but I don't think it's going to be that drastic. I don't think it's going to be like 10 minutes. I think it's going to be, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. No, I don't think he will. I think Luke's not going to have.
You think it'll be less than 5 minutes?
Yeah, I think Luke's going to have an important role in the movie, but I don't think he's going to have as much screen time as people think he's going to have.
Yeah. Which like I said, I think that 5 minutes is actually a generous amount.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think Leia was in The Last Jedi or something like 7 minutes. Or something.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, or like 9 minutes or something like that. And I was
what was
pretty
Rose
surprised
Tico?
at that. She was like
25.
25 minutes, 23 minutes.
And it was about what
like
Kylo
that.
was, 25?
Mm-hmm.
I think
Rey was 32, Kylo was 25.
I think Kylo was 27 and Rose was like 25 or something.
But about the same, yeah.
Yeah, it was like really close. But I think that another one of the conversations was how long is Leia going to be in the movie? And that's like got to be way less. That's got to be like a 2 minute.
You'd think,
thing
but I
or
don't
something.
know. We keep hearing magical, so.
Yeah, but you can do magical in 2 minutes.
I
really think so.
Fair enough, yeah.
Don't forget too that like it depends on
Take
how.
that quote out of context.
Yeah, you can show Poe talking to Leia for 10 minutes and only show her face for 2 of those 10 minutes.
You can do
so she gets a
magical
10-minute
in 2
segment. Yeah.
That's our next sticker on Patreon. It's going to have little stars on it.
John, give me the answer. 5 minutes or more?
So will he have more than 5 minutes? He will, James Bainey. Luke
Really?
Skywalker will have more time, and I think it's going to be due to added sequences because they realize the importance of that character, realize this is the final time we're going to see him, most likely in a live-action Star Wars release. It is the Skywalker saga. To not have... If you're able to have Luke Skywalker in it, you know you're limited with Leia. I think all those reasons are pointing to north of 5 minutes for me. Not by much.
But isn't the story more Rey's story?
It's still the Skywalker saga, and he's still her mentor. He's still very much involved. I think. Just
I'm not saying he's going to be in it more than Rey.
No, I'm not. But he's.
I never said that. I'm just.
But he's going to have slightly more than 5 minutes, so I would say he will.
Yeah. I'm actually going to agree. I've been on record of saying I think he's going to have like maybe 2 scenes or something. But the longer I've sat on that, I'm starting to think, you know what, that 1 or 2 quick scenes with a character, that's definitely Leia and Lando's roles. Mm-hmm. And I think that they are definitely going to have Mark Hamill have a stronger presence in this movie for a lot of reasons.
Right.
And when I started looking at the characters that in The Last Jedi were somewhere around like the 5-minute mark, it was like DJ and Holdo and Chewbacca, Hux, and one other one. I can't remember who it was. Snoke. Snoke was only in The Last Jedi for 5 minutes. And I started thinking, is he going to have
James,
a larger role than those characters?
Minutes.
Well, yeah. It was whatever. It was like really close to 5 minutes. It was around 5 minutes for those characters.
We got it.
I
get it, John.
I didn't get it. He
didn't get it.
He had to explain it.
He didn't.
He had to explain it.
He didn't get it.
Yeah.
That's sad.
James is trying to make like a legit argument.
Yeah, John's being a jerk, so I'm gonna stick my tongue out at you.
What is this?
Because Snoke's on the floor with his tongue out.
Oh,
You guys are both so slow.
John didn't get it. John didn't get it. All right, okay. All right,
James,
we're back to it.
James,
I think that Mark Hamill could have a larger role than some of those people and how they were utilized.
And let's
potentially.
Let's not forget, I think, and I speculated this is what made Kevin Smith cry because I think it was Mark Hamill. I think we're going to get a huge flashback showing how everything went down at the Academy. So I think that's another way to add Luke into this movie that isn't now. So you can see a tangible, present, alive Luke still in this movie because they've introduced flashbacks now. And they've teased us in both movies with those events, but they haven't given us the meat and potatoes. So I think we're going to get an actual segment instead of Canto Bight, which took us away from the story in The Last Jedi. They're going to take us in the middle of this movie to the Academy and show us exactly how it went down in full scale in like a 5 to 7 minute scene. And Luke's going to be all up in there and it's going to tie right into him with R2. So there's your plus 5 minutes for Mark Hamill.
So random question. Do you think, because they say that Luke left and disappeared after the Academy, do you think he immediately left, or do you think he ran into Kylo Ren one more time before he finally left?
I don't know, because it almost seemed
because
like...
in Rey's Force back or Force vision thing in Force Awakens, she has that scene where it's pouring rain and all the Knights of Ren are there, and he stabs through that guy. Like, that could be a scene where Luke's a part of it that you just haven't seen yet.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because...
And then Luke's like, I'm out. Like, he sees how bad it got.
The way The Force Awakens paints it is that, you know,
Luke
Kylo Ren was with Luke. No, The Force Awakens paints it. Kylo Ren Ben was with Luke, and then they killed a bunch of these students and they took off. And you're like, okay, so then when you see the Force back, you're like, oh, that's the scene. That's them. That's the Knights of Ren and these people killing all the students. But then The Last Jedi kind of paints it as like, he wasn't Kylo Ren. He didn't have a mask.
Yeah, he was in his pajamas.
He didn't have a red lightsaber.
Right.
He didn't have the Knights of Ren established.
Right.
So it does kind of paint a different scene that flashback moment is something separate from that other thing. But then again,
that's why I'm questioning it though, because
it could be anything. It could just be like, these were the Knights of Ren. This happened in the past. We're just kind of giving you array a moment to kind of be in a scenario where Kylo Ren is at his darkest, and he's like in the rain, killing, murdering. It's just like
I guess I
whatever.
just question it because
it's not really related to Luke, but it could be.
Right. So I guess my question is, going to what John was saying, the reason that I couldn't see it is because the way they've painted it right now is he pulls his lightsaber on Ben pulls down the whole shack, and then when Luke pushes his metal hand out, everything's already done. And then he like collapses next to R2 and everything's already destroyed. So he missed that whole destroying part because he was under the rubble of the shack.
Yeah, but did we see exactly how it happened, or did we see their points of view?
But I'm saying from Luke's point of view, he's in the shack, he pushes his hand out, and then he's there and it's already done.
Yeah,
so he never faces Ben.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying it can't be a scene with Luke, because Luke's knocked out from being under this rubble.
Yeah, but Lacey, we could see Luke putting his hand on R2 and then talking to R2 for 2 minutes and then seeing Luke leave. And
that's fine. Yeah. That's what I mean. But I'm saying, like, you had said that in my mind, the way you described it, I pictured like him confronting Kylo again. Just don't.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking maybe we see Kylo Ren and those remaining people, whether that's the Knights of Ren or not, do the burning, and then we see Luke leaving with R2 and just tying that in nicely to those scenes we've seen to make 7 through 9 cohesive in that way.
Or it could be him leaving R2.
Well, okay. I want to throw this in there too. Like, don't forget that the premise of this starting was that we saw the 2 different perspectives, and then we might get to see what really happened.
Right.
Sure.
We saw Kylo Ren's perspective, and we see that, maybe the way he was telling it and what was shown in that scene isn't exactly how it went down. And the same opposite side of that is that what we saw when Luke told the story was that, he pulled the house on me, and then after I came out of the rubble, it was all done. But
no,
like
when
the
I
reality
came to,
of it,
he says, like, when I came to makes it sound like.
But my point is that that's Luke's version of the story,
right?
And so in the reality, it could be that he pulled the house down and then they fought. You know what I mean?
I guess.
Yeah, that even could just be it. Maybe they fought and Ben defeated Luke and then left him in a pile of rubble, and Luke woke up later. Who knows? I mean, we're getting crazy.
Did you guys hear about when Kylo Ren was a DJ at a nightclub? By the way,
yes,
they said
he was the third member of Daft Punk. Burning down the house.
Next.
Hello?
Next. Yeah, all right, let's
that was our longest
the next
Will of the
one.
Force answer ever, but a very good discussion.
Yeah.
Next.
Let's get through these next ones. We got, will Star Wars Resistance take on a more focused / serious tone as the series progresses? So, John, you were talking about the Resistance, and you were giving it a little bit more credit than maybe you have in the past, and maybe it deserves a little bit more because it's starting to go that direction.
Yeah,
we're talking season 2 now. We're talking to the second half of season 1, season 2, season 3. What do you think? Think it's going to get more serious?
I mean, yeah, I kind of gave it away, I guess, Monday, my thoughts on that. I think it is. I was always wondering why this show is airing at 10 p.m. on a Sunday. I know apps are a big thing now, so kids can watch it any time during that day, so that's fine. But I'm giving it another shot because it doesn't need to be dark, but it doesn't. I don't need Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner, and that's what it felt like for the first 9 episodes of this thing. People got annoyed at me on my reviews and said I was a jerk, but it's like, I can't love everything. Like, you got to be honest. So I do think it's going that way. And when I heard it's going to be, riding alongside the events of TFA, and we know what happens at Hosnian Prime, where Kaz's dad is, it kind of has to in some regards. So I think it will. I think it will take on a more serious tone.
All right, Lacey, you guys talked last week about how The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi all kind of take place within like 6 days. So if the Resistance is going to continue along Force Awakens, do you think it will continue along Last Jedi as well? Or would they have just said that right from the get-go? Also, will it take a more serious tone?
I think that it will not take a more serious tone. I think a no Dameron on this one. It's definitely a kid's show. It's for kids. I don't think it needs to be serious for kids to understand the importance of fighting for what's right and what is at stake, because they've seen The Force Awakens. They don't need to know They don't need to know the seriousness of what happens. They already know that. So,
Okay.
I think it will go along the side The Force Awakens, but I don't think we're going to go past The Last Jedi. I can't see that happening.
Okay.
Tiebreaker.
I'm going to say that it will not. But here's the way I'm gonna say that I think it's gonna happen is that 80% of the show is always going to be silly misadventures of Kaz and BB-8 or whatever, right? And it won't be, well, that's the first season. And then the next season, it'll be like 70% silly. And the next season will be like 30% silly. I don't think that's going to be the case. It will always be 80% silly, but they will do 20% of stuff that if you're paying attention to season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, it will progressively you'll get more involved with those characters. Mm-hmm. Right now, the serious stuff is just like, oh, that's cool. It's kind of tied in. But then in season 2, because you already have a connection to that serious 20% of last season, the season 2 20% is going to mean more. And you're going to feel more connected to something that he loses, like someone, a friend of his life or something. So, but I think if you snapshot the show as a whole, season 1, 2, 3, 4, however many they go, it will always be 80% silliness.
It's fair.
If that makes sense. All right. And the last one that we're going to get to is, will the next theatrically released Star Wars film come out in December of 2021? Bonus though, can anybody guess what it would be? Lacey, you're going to say, yes, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. John, you're going to say, yes,
No.
It's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's actually not what I was going to say.
All right. What are you going to say, Lacey? Give it to me quick.
I was going to say yes, and it's going to be the Benioff and Weiss trilogy.
All right.
Because
John?
Game of Thrones will be done at that time.
Wow.
All right. John, what do you say?
No, it will not. The next theatrically released Star Wars film will not come out in December 2021. It will be December of 2020, and it will be Kenobi, A Star Wars Story, which will begin filming next May.
Those are very specific details, Sean.
I'm with Lacey.
I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I'm with Lacey because I don't think it's going to be the Kenobi. I don't think there's some secret hidden director that's working on this thing.
I think Kenobi's
going to
come out in 2020, so joke's on all of you.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you just say?
I said I think Kenobi is coming out in 2020.
She's beating you to the punch.
No, you said 2021.
No, I said it's not going to be.
He did say 2020, actually.
Yes.
Oh, well, then I agree with you, John. I take back my face.
Maybe you should clean out your ears and listen.
I just tend to zone out when you talk.
I don't think there's going to be a movie until 2021.
Okay.
And it will be December. None of this May nonsense.
What do you think it's going to be?
May's for Avengers. No, what was it that I come up with? May's for Marvel. December's for Death Stars.
What did you say May? No one said May either. What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying it's gonna. Oh my gosh! Why don't you clean out your ears, John?
I mean,
I said it's gonna. The next Star Wars movie's coming out in 2021, and it will be December. None of this May nonsense.
Right, but no one said May. So what are you talking about?
Solo came out in May.
Oh, okay. I thought
Force Awakens and Last Jedi and Episode 9 were all supposed to be May.
Yeah,
Right.
Forget that. Yeah. None of that May nonsense.
And it's going to be. And it's going to be what? What movie is it going to be?
May is for Marvel. December's for Death Stars. It's not going to be a movie. It's not going to be Obi-Wan. I don't know. Benioff and Weiss. That makes sense.
I don't know if you noticed. Most movies are moving out of May now. They're moving into April and March.
April. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
James,
All
is that
right,
it?
That's it. That's it.
Oh.
Let's do the Kessel run and let's burn it because we only got 12 parsecs. Is that a unit of measure of time or distance? I don't even know.
Well,
right.
Let's find out, James. All right. So, guys, we are doing a Kessel run this week. That's right.
You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon? It's a ship that made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs.
And if you're not familiar with that, we, in the honor of Han Solo, we do a list of 12 items on varying topics in Star Wars. And this week, thanks to our old buddy, Mr. Patric Covey, formerly a part of the podcast. He suggested this week's topic when we asked our listeners for topics for the Kessel Run, which was James's idea to ask the folks. So good job, James. Thank you, Pat, for this topic, which is the 12 worst places in Star Wars to be. We're going to run through. Each of us brought 4 to the table. We're going to go through our top 12. Then we want to hear from you guys what you think the worst places to be in Star Wars are. So who wants to start it off with their first worst place to be in Star Wars?
John, you could start.
John, you start. I'll go second.
Okay. My first is the worst place to be in Star Wars is frozen in carbonite.
Oh.
I think that is absolutely horrible for several reasons. One, because there's no guarantee you're getting out of there. If you don't have good enough friends that'll break you out or save you or whatever the situation is. And if you do get out, if it's over a long period of time, all your friends may be really old. And then it's like Interstellar. And then you get really sad.
And even if you do get out, you might lose your sight.
Completely. Yeah. So I just think, and I'm claustrophobic, and you're in there and you're at the weird face. So I think that's one of the worst places to be in Star Wars is frozen in carbonite, because not everyone is as lucky as Han Solo.
Yeah, it's a good pick. And he's not the only one who's been frozen in carbonite. Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, Anakin have all been frozen. Not Cody, but Rex. They've all been frozen in carbonite.
No one cares about Rex, though. Well, people pretend they do, but they really don't.
Whoa.
That is tough.
See that old guy in Return of the Jedi? That's Rex, guys. That's Rex.
I just watched our Twitter followers drop 30%. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, that's a good one, John. I really like that. I'm gonna go next. Okay. I'm gonna say one of the worst places to be in all of Star Wars is the Rancor pit.
That is not a good place to be.
Because even if you're in I'm assuming we're talking about Jabba's palace here. You're in that place and you're standing over the area and you know that at any point they could push that button, but the second they push that button and you lose your footing, you're like, I already know.
Yeah, right.
When I hit the ground, if I don't break my legs on impact, I'm just going to have to run around this thing and try to live as long as I possibly can, but there's no way out. No. I'm not getting out of this. Now, Luke does get out, but don't worry about that.
Yeah, and
I remember watching that and saying when I was little, being like, "Wow, Luke looks really nervous."
Yeah.
And you know what's funny?
And he's not doing anything Jedi at all. He's like, all right, I'm just going to try to do this by being me.
He wedges
this rock at him.
Yeah,
I'm a Jedi master. Don't worry, I'm going to throw it. Yeah.
He wedges the bone in and then he throws a rock. Yeah, he's like,
I'm going to hit your hand with the rock and let me go. It's talk about force powers. Just throw the thing and hit him in the eye.
Definitely one of the scariest beasts in Star Wars when you're a kid watching Return of the Jedi.
And then when it gets crushed by the door, you feel bad, though. When it goes, oh.
It gives the whimper, and then the disgusting Rancor keeper starts crying.
Yeah.
Well, he does the little squeal thing at the end, his last breath.
It sounds like a puppy.
Yeah.
All right, Lacey, beat that.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat that.
I guess in his mouth would be worse.
Definitely on this thread that we're on, I think the worst place to be in Star Wars is a Sarlacc pit.
Oh my gosh.
You can get digested for 1,000 years. I don't know what's scarier than that, guys. Outside of Star Wars, there's this one scene in King Kong where these slugs digest Andy Serkis, and it's terrified me for years, and that's the same concept. This thing eats you, and then you slowly get digested. That is disgusting and terrifying, and hands down the worst place in Star Wars.
Okay, I mean it is bad.
So she's top card right there.
But my only problem with that, and I'll just say this:
you're surrounded by sand, which also sucks.
Yeah, if you die though, you're not suffering through the 1,000 years.
No, but it takes a long time for it to digest you.
Yeah, but you're not.
But I think you could
it.
die within as soon as you hit his body, he's probably gonna crunch you up and chew you or cut you in
or you
pieces
starve to death.
Or your stomach acid just kills you like on
but
impact
starving
or
to
whatever.
death takes a long time.
And Boba Fett,
No.
did Boba Fett get out?
Yeah.
So.
I don't know.
Who
Did
knows?
he? That's a good question.
I do agree. It's a disgusting thing to fall into and
nope.
everything. So
Nope.
so like
Worst place to
Jabba's. So what we're saying is around Jabba's neck of the woods is
Like,
really
Jabba
not a
sucks.
good place to be for round 1 on the Kessel Run because we have
sure.
Frozen and Carbonite, the Rancor Pit, and the Sarlacc Pit. So 3 things right out of that area.
All right, John, break it. What else you got?
All right, so my second one, we are going to a little more city-based here. Coruscant. Period.
Wait, what? Coruscant period?
Period. You know why? I don't mind going to New York City once in a while for
hate
like
the
a
city.
night or a couple hours, or if I have to go because of like New York Comic Con or something. But I don't like cities, and the entire GD planet is a city, and I can't deal with that, especially at night. I can't.
John's nightmare.
There is nowhere to go. You can't go to a rural part of Coruscant. The whole planet is a city. That is my nightmare. Have you ever been
There
to
are park areas.
That's like what?
There are park areas.
Park areas?
Yeah.
So Rick Ollier, his actual quote is the entire planet is one giant city, right?
No, I know, but they talk about it in the in Catalyst that there are areas of Coruscant that are like parks.
Nobody cares. There's also areas in
I'm
New York
just
City that
saying.
are parks. You know what I'm saying?
You say there's nowhere to go.
There's
I mean,
nowhere to go. If
could-
you go to a park, you're going to get mugged. The whole city is an absolute nightmare. I don't want anything to do with it. It's so horrible. I would never want to live on Coruscant. It's probably so polluted. It's probably so disgusting. At nighttime, you have all these people trying to sell you death sticks. They're changing into things and they're hitting you with darts in the neck. It is absolutely insane. You have Jedi losing their lightsabers and acting all goofy and causing traffic accidents. I am all set with Coruscant. It is hands down one of the worst places in Star Wars to be. And you guys probably disagree, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think that's kind of crazy. I'd put that somewhere on the list of like good places to be.
Wow.
I don't think it's like, it's not that it isn't corrupt, but I mean, there's obviously tons of stuff to do.
Oh.
Like that's like saying like the worst place to be in America is like Las Vegas. And it's like, yeah, but there's stuff to do there.
Yeah, but
It's like,
there's
it's not
nowhere
like
else
it's a
to
great
go.
town,
the whole
but it's
planet is Las Vegas.
That's pretty funny if you say it like that. All right,
It's like
I'm
the
gonna
whole
go on to my
planet is
next one.
Tokyo. The whole planet is Times Square. Everywhere you go, there's a giant furry Elmo chasing you around for photos. Get out of here.
I'm gonna say that the worst place or one of the worst places in Star Wars for my next pick is gonna be Malachor.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
Well, first of all, if you manage to be on the surface, it's literally like nothing but barren wasteland. And then if you manage to jump too hard, you will fall like 300 feet into a graveyard of people. And then you're just stuck down there in like the dark graveyard with really nothing other than possibly Darth Maul.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's like all Sith based. So if there is stuff there, it's probably like ghost, horrific, scary stuff.
I was gonna say, would you
Which
have
would also
any-
be terrifying.
If you were an explorer, though, or like an adventurer, wouldn't you be interested in finding old relics and stuff and temples and that sort of thing?
Nah,
Well, first
dog.
off, you got to think you're never getting off.
Right.
So I don't know what really like adventure that has. Is it's more like, oh, I'd like to go to the Amazon. Oh, I wouldn't like to be stuck in the Amazon.
Okay.
Ugh.
Yeah. Like I think it would, I'm looking at it as more of like you are now here for the rest of your life and you can't do anything about it. That's how I kind of
So like a tangible purgatory sort of situation.
Yeah, sort of.
Okay. Yeah.
All right,
That
Lacey, what do you
that
got?
does sound horrible.
I'm gonna say the worst place to be, number 2 in Star Wars, is a Wampus cave on Hoth. one, it's cold AF, and if you're not dressed right, you could die.
Right.
And two, there's a huge monster, and there's no way that I'm going to fight him because I don't have a lightsaber. So I'm going to get eaten and be cold while being eaten.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it's one of two. You're just going to die. There's no way out.
Lacey, you kind of stole mine. One of mine was going to be straight up Hoth because there's
there's
nothing there.
Yeah, I guarantee that's the most popular answer, so I tried to avoid it. But yeah, and then when you specify it to a giant beast and you're in his home, that is not good.
I love how this has just turned into what ways would Lacey die in Star Wars? Because that's what it's been said.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of it. But the other thing about Hoth is, like I said just a minute ago, is like, what if I was there, what could I do? All right, well, I could try to build shelter, but is there anything like interesting at all around here? Well, there is this old abandoned Echo base, but it's like, even when you're in there, those guys look like they were freezing.
Yeah,
you know?
And they had wampas trapped in there that were like breaking loose.
That's true. That's true. If you consult the deleted scenes.
The deleted scenes or that dreadful episode of Forces of Destiny.
Oh, that's right.
no.
That's right. Forces of Destiny brought that back.
Where they made
definitely
Chewie a
canon.
coward.
Yeah. Is it in Battlefront, the novel?
I don't know.
Any wampas in that? I don't remember.
I
All
know
right.
there were wampas in some of the video games. I don't know if I think Shadows of the Empire there might have been wampas. All right, so I was gonna say about this, Lacey, real quick. Whenever I see Luke's lightsaber in the snow, when I was a kid, I used to think that if I took like a Pepsi can and jammed it into the snow, it looked like that because the end of his lightsaber kind of looks like a soda can. So just next time you're in the snow and you're out somewhere.
Did you do the screwdriver thing?
I didn't do that, no.
Like every time I have a screwdriver outside, I throw it into the ground.
Oh,
Like and
okay.
it sticks up.
You guys are
Yeah.
lame.
Yeah.
I
I'm just
also,
kidding.
when he's
That's
hanging
funny.
upside down, his scarf looks like his pinky, so it looks like he's doing this.
We're back to the misconceptions thing. We need to do another list of that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we're down. We are halfway through. Is that where we're at? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So my third pick is, where's my third pick? Camino. Camino is
Welcome,
Awful.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
awful.
That
The
long
whole-
neck.
The whole planet is an ocean. It's
A
Earth
stormy
in 20
ocean.
years. It's absolutely dreadful. It's a stormy ocean. You're stuck in this place. And when you're inside this place, it is so damn bright inside that place. It's so cloudy. Like when you wake up in the morning and you can't see because everything's cloudy. It is so friggin' bright in there. You got to wear like shades.
I never
The only-
understood why their bridges were made out of materials that were slippery.
It's very slippery.
Like outside, like why did you make it out of that material? It's like whoa, got to get to my ship. Like
those
I just feel
aliens
like
are
if
so
you were thinking
stupid.
about it, you'd be like, well, let's put down, some like good
Those
like
creatures are kind of slow. They're
like
like,
a-
it wasn't raining when we were designing it.
That's the thing.
like
You're
a
the shortest-
bathtub mat like that you put in the bottom of the shower. Like that should be the whole like runway.
Right. You get your grippings. But all these people, like, you're the shortest person around because they're all taller than you. They're slow talkers.
Your
and then
neck hurts because you're like always looking up.
and then your only chance at human interaction is 500,000 fets. Like, that is my nightmare.
That
You're
is
just
your
talking to fets. And that's all
a
you
good
can do
one.
is look at fets. That place is, I should have been number one. God, Camino is an absolute disaster. Absolute disaster.
So I'll go next.
Yeah, sorry.
So I was thinking, all right, well, what's like probably like one of the worst things in human existence? Probably torture. Where is there torture in Star Wars? And I debated a couple, and I'm not really sure which is worse. I have an idea, but I'm still gonna go with the like hang, not upside down, but like kind of upside down, the Han Solo one where they're sparking him and it's like hot.
Yes.
It's like burning his
yeah.
face. It's so freaking miserable. I
Right.
hate hot things. And like if somebody was I was strapped down and I was
the
like being
Bespin
held
torture
over the top
chamber?
of a stove, and I'm like trying to burn part of my face to save the other half. Oh, it'd be so terrible. Looks like they were like punching him and other stuff too, which would be terrible. The only other one I would compete with that is like the Kylo Ren thing, because it's like a mental thing.
Yeah.
It's like, who knows what your
Right.
body is being told to do when he's manipulating your brain.
Yeah.
So that's probably pretty
even
awful
how
too.
Solo looked when they threw him back in with Chewie, he looks like someone who's been on a bender for a week, and he just goes, "I feel terrible."
Yeah.
That's a good pick. So that's on Cloud City. If you're talking about that specific,
Yeah. I think Cloud City's fine. Like, I don't have a problem with that. But
It's that
but like
torture chamber.
specifically, if we're gonna get like the Wampa's nest as opposed to Hoth, like the torture chamber in Cloud City, would be a pick of mine.
yeah,
for sure.
that sounds horrible. I agree. Good pick. Lacey, what's your
Makes
third
me
pick?
feel terrible.
So my third pick is being a Padawan at the temple when Anakin shows up.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So this
the
falls
worst
into kind of a
place
bad category for me.
Number 3 on how Lacey's gonna die in Star Wars.
Yeah.
That just seems like the worst place to be in that classroom. Imagine you show up, it's your first day, you're like, Mom, I'm gonna learn so much. I'm meant to be a Jedi. And then he shows up and then he's like, you're all dead. Oh man, that is
Yeah.
a bad place to be, man.
That
You just
is
wanted to learn the Force, you wanted to do some good. It didn't matter.
no good.
So, I don't know what you guys are going to pick for your next two, but one that I specifically left off the list, and this one kind of falls into that category.
Well, next
is I
one,
was walking around-
after this is one left.
Yeah, one left.
No, I know, yeah. So I was walking around work and I was asking people, I said like, hey, what do you think the worst place in Star Wars would be? And everybody always had the same answer, which is Alderaan. And I'm like,
yeah, no, I didn't say
Alderaan
that. That's a cheap
I
shot.
I know, but you didn't. But you said the Jedi Temple,
Right.
But only on that day, only on that night.
Right.
Otherwise,
Right.
it's fine.
Right.
But on one
Situationally.
specific day of the year, the next day, totally fine.
Well, not really,
Right,
because
you know?
everybody's dead, but yeah.
Well, I know, but if you were then stranded one day after that event happened, it wouldn't be so terrible.
Right.
You went to go get
know what
some
I mean?
coffee, some
So
calf.
so I'm kind of like, that doesn't count because Alderaan is great.
Okay,
It
you want a
just-
real answer then?
The one. Well, no, I'm just saying.
Okay,
I
so
mean, it's fine.
putting
It's whatever.
aside
It's
all
a
this-
terrible place
no,
to be.
I can
It
give
really
I
is.
can give another answer. My other answer would be the trash compactor.
That's a good one.
Although
Because
everyone
you've either-
escapes those though.
Okay, my
Not everyone.
dumbass would not be
They
able to
almost
escape that.
Yeah, I don't have a communicator
I would
to
either get
C-3PO
eaten by that
who was
monster.
standing right next to R2, who happens to be able to plug in right there.
R2's
Phasma
going.
got out.
R2's just going. Yeah,
Phasma did get out.
she
How
had
did
a good
get
run.
She like busted out. Like they showed her in her one-off comic. She like busted through the door or something.
No, I know, but I was trying to think of like specifically how she did it because I don't think it was like the same thing that they did.
That is
Like,
a good
Yeah,
pick
I
though,
just-
because the Dianoga's in there. It's,
Yeah, I don't know what's
disgusting.
worse. You get put into trash. It's probably disgusting. So you could
Right.
get a disease from just being in there that's long surpasses you getting out.
Right.
You could get eaten by that monster, drowned to death, which is terrible, and then you could get squished.
You could get squished.
No, like that's like the best alternative. Like I managed to not drown, not break my bones, not eaten by this creature.
And now I have
But at the end
diseases
of
in
the
all my
day-
orifices.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the best case scenario is I live long enough to be slowly squeezed to death.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's the ultimate diet because as Han Solo said, we're all going to be a lot thinner. So there you go.
Yeah. Weight Watchers.
Yeah.
All right.
Jenny
Final
Craig.
ones.
All right.
Here we go. Final.
Guys, my final pick is a village that Kylo Ren has heard of. Because we
Oh no.
we know that he has heard of 2 villages and he has murdered everyone in both of those villages.
and burn them to the ground, probably.
That is on Jakku. The villagers kill them all. They killed them all. In Star Wars Resistance, we met these 2 orphans. Why are they orphans? Kylo Ren killed their entire family and everyone in their village. So if If you're in a
Jedi
village,
Academy.
if you're in a village, folks, and Kylo Ren has heard of it, you are going to die. So that is my fourth pick for worst place to be in Star Wars. Stay as far away from a village if Mr. Ren is aware of it.
Yeah. Lacey also brings up the point, too, that the Jedi Academy was kind of like a small little village.
So like a large
if it's a
collection
village,
of shacks.
Kills pretty much everyone
I
there.
didn't want to call it a village because
Like,
someone's going to be
hey,
like,
Ben, how's it going? What are you doing up so late?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Kylo Ren's like, Kylo Ren
It's like
went
a
to the
repeat
dark
of the
side
Anakin
just
thing.
because he hates villages. He's just like, but it's a village. I have to kill everybody.
I hate collections
I
of
just had this
shacks.
crazy idea. John, you were bringing up earlier about like we could see what Kylo Ren did that night.
Yes.
They'd actually like show it,
Yes.
right? What if they frame the same thing as the Anakin prequel, like, hey Ben, like it's one of the other Jedi, like, what are you doing up? And he like turns on the saber, and the guy's like, you see him like back.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. People would like get so many flashbacks. They'd immediately be like, I love this.
I hate it.
That would be
rhymes.
cool.
You would hate that?
No me gusta.
I've heard Kylo Ren's least favorite song in the world is YMCA because it's sung by the village people.
Oh my gosh. Quit writing your jokes before the show starts.
No, I didn't. I just came up with that one.
All right. Should I do my last one?
Yeah.
All right. I feel like it's kind of a cop out, and I'm for more than one reason, because I'm kind of going to do two here, but Wabani, labor camp, and then Kessel. I mean, it's kind of the same deal, right?
Yep.
So these are planets specifically like that exist to be like concentration camps, practically, you know, like just go here and it's terrible. We don't care that it's terrible. It's terrible. And you are going to have to work for the rest of your life, and you're probably going to get like addicted to the diseases and all kinds of crazy stuff. The only thing I in researching Wabani, I found out that it was actually all low level criminals, whereas Kessel's like the worst of the worst. So so that would be, I'd rather be on Wabani than Kessel, but both of them, regardless, I would hate to be stuck on a labor camp and just feel like my life's over. But I don't even die,
And it's
I'm
not
just
even
like,
criminals, right?
I have to be here. No, I think they're both criminals. Oh, I don't know.
Enslaved
Kessel's
Wookiees
not necessarily.
were in Kessel.
They're like
and-
enslaved, yeah. So, but Wabani's criminals. They're just low level
Yeah,
criminals.
right. Yeah, I mean, that's not good, but if you're there, you did something. So it's like...
Yeah. Well, not necessarily either, because like you could just be there and they could be like, "Hey, who are you? Get back to work." And you're like, "I'm not supposed to be here,
Dude, that's such
I'm
a
not
good
even
point.
supposed to be here."
Yeah, like Clerks. Like that's such a Star Wars line though. Like, who are you? Like that's
Yeah, exactly.
the trained stormtroopers. And the first question they're taught to ask people are, "Who are you?"
Yeah, there's like 5 phrases. It's like, "Who's that? What's that?" or whatever. Yeah.
All right, so our final
Hey,
pick,
stop.
the 12th in the Kessel Run. Lacey, what is your fourth worst place to be in Star Wars?
So surprisingly, it's not one where I'm going to die, because I definitely wouldn't survive anywhere in Star Wars. This is actually my worst nightmare, and it is the Galactic Senate. Is the worst place for me in Star Wars. It is boring. They don't get anything done. That is my nightmare. It's just bureaucratic garbage where they float around and they just yell at each other and nothing really gets done.
They
and it's just a
squabble.
bunch of it's just a bunch of people being like, well, our planet's important. Well, our planet's important. And no one cares what's going on. And you know that there's backdoor deals going on and people are sketchy. Like, that is my worst nightmare. I think I would kill myself and just jump off one of those platforms.
Wow,
Because it's
Okay.
like the worst.
that got dark.
But you would get to hang out with like Bail Organa and stuff.
Yeah,
and
but
Mon
it's-
Mothma.
But just think about when we watched The Phantom Menace, how boring those scenes were.
Yeah, they are.
Those were the
definitely,
best scenes.
Oh my
are you
God.
talking
And just
about?
the way
Yeah.
Natalie Portman says
I was like-
committee. Ugh.
I'm like, Oh my
can't.
gosh, like an edge of my seat. I was like, whoa.
I can't stand
A call for
scenes that are
for,
just
what's it called?
written.
No authority.
No
or whatever?
confidence.
No confidence. I'm like, oh my gosh, you just played the NC card.
You know, the NC card. Yeah, the only redeeming thing about the Senate, which makes me laugh, is Robot Chicken when you have Palpatine talking on the phone to Vader or somebody, and he just opens with, and then I threw the Senate at him. And because he literally threw the Senate at Yoda,
Yeah.
he was picking up the booth and
Yeah.
throwing them at him.
Just
But that's a good pick. The Senate,
place to
the
be.
Senate is quite boring. But
You'd have these little moments of joy when you're like, ooh, I want to talk. And then you like push the button, you're like, woo.
I hate it. It's so
All right,
dumb.
guys.
I hate it.
that is
E.T. over there?
our Kessel run. We have Frozen in Carbonite, the Rancor Pit, the Sarlacc Pit, Coruscant, Malachor, the Wampa Cave, Camino, the Torture Chamber on Cloud City, being a Padawan at the Jedi Temple during Order 66.
Which I think just
Or
Very
trash
specific,
compactor.
Very specific. Or a trash compactor. Any village that Kylo
this
Ren has
should
ever
have
heard
just
of.
been the Kessel Run, how Lacey dies in Star Wars.
Yeah. Wobani or Kessel and the Senate, the Galactic Senate. So there you go. Guys, let
Senate.
us know what you think of our list in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And let us know what your picks are for the worst places to be in Star Wars. We hope you enjoyed the Kessel Run. It's always a fun segment, a good time, and we like it that way. So now
I just love how they're
it
all
is-
specific places, like gradual places, and then yours
Mm-hmm.
like being a Padawan in
that's
the
good.
Jedi
That
Temple
is good.
classroom
Very
They're
good.
all
During-
physical places.
during
Yeah.
Order 66.
Yep. Very good.
Oh, so good.
But yeah, guys, that's it. We are going to move on to a little more fun now because we're going to hop over to Resistance Transmissions to see what you guys were tweeting. So, Lacey, what do we have fired up this week?
All right, guys, it's time for Resistance Transmission. So every week, John puts up a crazy, wacky, and Joel from France said he likes the way I say it, so I'm going to continue to say it, wacky situation. And you guys give us your answers. So let's get into it. So, in the spirit of the holidays, if you could give a gift to one of these 7 characters, who would you pick and what would you get them and why? Best ones make it on the show. And the characters are Leia, Han Solo, Yoda, Rey, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Chewie. No Kylo? Come on.
Purposely.
I knew like half of those people.
All right. First one is Jimmy at Old Guy Jedi. And he said, I'd give Yoda a flashlight.
I like that because he showed the gif of Yoda doing the thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cute. Yeah.
Next is nostalgic_lady. And she says, Rey, a refrigerator full of food because she is hungry.
Hey, she is hungry.
She's hungry.
You saw her eating that
shirtless
quarter
Kylo
portion.
Ren because she's thirsty. Next,
It's all gonna
game.
it's all gonna go bad because she won't be able to plug it in.
Oh, that's right. Do you think she has any outlets on the AT-AT she lives in? Like the down?
She,
James, I
she
think
has like one of those world travel adapters.
Oh, okay.
It's like you gotta push like it has 3 prongs. It's Jakku.
I think that's the funniest thing you've ever said, James. Is gonna go bad because you can't plug it in.
James is always so practical about like, how's she gonna plug in the refrigerator on Jakku?
I know. I picture her like pulling the like wrapping paper down. She's like a refrigerator. Like
It's like Wayne's World. What am I gonna do with
what am
a
I gonna
gun
do
rack?
with this? Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that is a good idea, though. Okay, so then
Yeah.
Gabe Nedweck at Ned81 says, who would pick Obi-Wan? What do you get a guy who already has the high ground?
That's a good point. That is a
Okay,
good
so
point.
for those people I couldn't hear it because I was laughing, it's who would pick Obi-Wan? What do you get the guy who already has the high ground?
What do you get him?
Yeah.
The guy that has
You
everything.
get him a high ground t-shirt
At
available only on tpublic.com
Slash
what is it? Slash
user.
party user / resistance
You guys
broadcast.
are the worst.
Boom.
Next
On
is,
sale now.
On sale
$14
now.
tees.
Next is more 5150 at Mohr 5150, but it's spelled Mohr. And they said,
Maybe it's
nope.
Jay Moore.
More. That's Kylo Ren.
Next, they said, no brainer, ... Chewie gets a medal. You earned it, pal. I have his
There you
medal
go.
right here, guys.
He does have a medal. No brainer. Or I'm sorry, not your name isn't No Brainer. It's Mohr 5150. He does have a medal. He gave it away to like an orphan girl though.
Don't be lame. He doesn't have a medal in the movie. All right. Next
In
is
the movie, he doesn't have the medal.
next is Holocron Visions at Holocron Visions. I think it's Holocron Visions at Holocron Visions.
I think I accidentally left the H off.
Sorry.
Holocron.
Sorry, Holocron Visions. Okay, next is
He likes chocolate and caramel. It's Rolocron.
Right.
they said Chewie,
Han
a
Olo.
Roomba, Drano, and a vertical porg roaster.
That is brilliant. Drano, because he's probably obviously always clogging up his drains with his
Yeah.
hair.
And a
so-
Roomba to get all the hair off the
He
Millennium
wrecks
Falcon.
Lando's bathroom.
That is such a practically awesome answer. I think that
Yeah.
that's good.
Next
I
is
like the vertical porg roaster too.
Yeah.
Like what do they call it? Where
Kebab.
Spigot?
Kebab. Yeah, you're like carving it. Oh, it's so good.
Put the
But it'd
sad
be porg.
You put the sad porg on there that somebody's gonna win on Monday.
You guys really like plugging our stuff during this segment.
I mean, I'm trying to help people win stuff. I'm a people person.
Yeah.
Next is our buddy Blog of the Hut at Blog of the Hut, and they said, I would make Han an official Kessel Run record holder certificate that he could frame and show to people whenever he goes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that. That's like Michael Scott having the best boss mug that he got himself.
That
you
is
know?
amazing. It's like a Dundee.
Or like a
Yeah.
Boy Scout membership card that you can have in your wallet.
Yeah. So does Han's certificate have like
shows it
little
off.
teddy bears on the corner? It's just like
With the cop hat on it.
with the cop hat on it. Yeah, we're doing all the office references as possible.
And
that's a good
last
one.
but not least is our general from Patreon, Adam Odell at Odell Adam.
I was looking for a way to not include Adam, but he keeps killing it. So
I know he is killing it. He said,
Don't say- I was looking for a way to get him off of
I
our
was
show.
trying, Adam. You got it
Yeah.
again, buddy.
Yeah.
and Adam says, I'd give Han Solo a new chest because his son destroyed his old one with a lightsaber.
That is so dark.
Adam.
Yo, did you get Apple Care on that chest?
Adam.
Apple care.
What? Who hurt you, Adam?
Man.
What is wrong? Please tell us if you need help. We will help you, Adam. All right. Well, good
Adam
job,
writes
guys.
us back and he says, I feel like I'm being torn apart.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys so much. This was super fun to read. If you want to be on the show, make sure to follow us on Twitter at RBATSWNN. And every week, John will put up some crazy, wacky situation. And then you guys will give your answers. Best ones make it on the show. So yeah, thank you so much. Back to you, John.
All right. Yeah, guys, keep those coming. And if my brain is working right, then we will read the next ones after Christmas, just before.
After John has
New
eaten
Year's.
his spoonful of sugar.
So that'll be our last episode of 2018. So keep that in mind. It'll be interesting. We'll make it interesting. Okay.
We should ask it, what would be our New Year's resolutions?
That's something we could do. Star Wars character resolutions or something like that. Good idea. We'll cook something up. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. As always, make sure you're subscribed to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Spotify. Head to, as James said before, tpublic.com/user/resistance broadcast. We have like 40 different designs, including our new Arabesh logo. A lot of cool stuff on there. There's always sales. I don't know if there's still one going on at this moment, but you can get, mugs, stickers, t-shirts, a lot of cool stuff on there. Our Patreon is alive and well every day. We're posting new stuff on there, from behind the scenes videos, polls, rumor review videos, comic book review videos. We're out talking to people in public. We're in Target, running
It's a
around
Patreon.
stores. We're doing stuff like that. We try to have seriously the most active Patreon possible. And for $2, starting at $2 a month, you can be a part of it. And our episodes are also on there too. Sometimes we give you guys sneak peeks, early views of our episodes. A lot of good stuff on there. So get involved and we appreciate it. That's patreon.com/resistance broadcast. Guys, make sure you also go to StarWarsNewsNet.com every day. That's where we get all our news stories for your latest news, reviews, editorials, information, and more.
Is that where they're coming from?
I do have to say a special thanks to our generals on our Patreon page. We have Thomas, we have Carmelo, we have Mr. Adam Odell you just heard, and Val Trichkoff. We salute you all. Thank you so much, our patron generals. You guys mean a lot to us, and we really do appreciate it. You guys can find me on Twitter at Johnny Hoey and writing and editing over at Star Wars News Net. James, how about you?
Lacey gets this joke. No, she doesn't.
Yes, I do. Ricky Bobby.
All right, yeah. Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands. Twitter at Meyer Trunks.
Okay, great. Lacey, how about you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Lacey Gillerin, where I talk about Star Wars. And now I'm just going to be thinking about all the ways I can die in Star Wars. Although I can't get out of my head that what do you get for someone that has the high ground?
That's a good tweet. That's close to making the Hall of Fame.
I think so. It's in my top 10.
We only have 2 Hall of Famers, so it's an exclusive club. But that's very, 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 very good. All right, guys. I'll tell you what. Enjoy your weekends. We're gonna have some more patron stuff up there for you while you're scrambling and running around because you're a last minute Louie with your shopping for Christmas. And we are gonna be with you guys on Christmas Eve morning with a brand new episode of the Resistance broadcast. Why? Because we love you. That's why.
Christmas
guys.
Spectacular.
Christmas Spectacular.
Holiday
The
special.
Resistance holiday special, yeah.
Holiday special. I like that. I don't know. We'll think of something. But until then, we'll see you around, kids.
Bye.